Greetings, my great scholars. Question number 29, jam pass question 2001. In a Daniell cell, the depolarizer, positive and negative electrodes are respectively. Okay, so observing our question, we can see it's highly centered on Daniell cell, a primary cell, Daniell cell. There are three commonest examples of primary cell. Or let's start with, we have two kinds of cell, primary cell and secondary cell. Primary cells are those ones that are exhaustible. When fully consumed, you cannot restore it back to working conditions. While secondary cell is the one that you can restore back to working condition. In other words, it's rechargeable. Okay, we have examples of primary cell, Daniell cell, simple cell, and Leclanche cell. So today's question is centered on Daniell cell. Every cell has basic components. There are basic things you see in cells, and commonly they are the electrodes and the electrolytes. Electrodes and electrolytes. Electrolyte is chemical solution, while electrodes are metals immersed in those solutions. Okay, coming to Daniell cell. A Daniell cell has two electrodes, copper and zinc. A Daniell cell has two electrodes, copper and zinc, and both are, and the copper is immersed in its own solution, and zinc is also immersed in its own solution. So the solution that copper is being immersed, copper electrode is immersed into is copper sulfate or copper solution, copper sulfate, and that behaves as its depolarizer. Then zinc is immersed in its own solution too. Okay, so anytime we talk about the Daniell cell, the electrodes are copper immersed in its solution and zinc immersed in its solution too. Then when we talk of Leclanche cell, we maintain zinc, but we now substitute copper with carbon. In Leclanche cell, carbon replaces copper, and Leclanche cell can either be dry or wet. Dry or wet Leclanche cell. Yeah, check our remotes. Those batteries we use in our remotes, in our radio, they are dry Leclanche cell, old radio, Tiger batteries, dry Leclanche cell. That's why those days of blackboard, we extract carbon from those batteries, those cells. We extract carbon. That carbon is the carbon electrode. That's for Leclanche cell. But the question is centered on Daniell cell. And Daniell cell has the positive electrode as copper and the negative electrode as what? Zinc. And the copper is immersed in its own solution, which is the depolarizer, copper sulfates. Thank you. Stay tuned as we push ahead. Okay, observing, the best option there is option A, where we have copper sulfates taking the first term, which is depolarizer, copper taking the second term, which is positive, and zinc taking the last term, which is negative electrode. Thank you.